Howdy, folks. Spencer here, and today I want to talk to you about the latest batch of news for STO on both PC and console. As always, chapters are listed down below. The first thing today is that in celebration of Star Trek Resurgence getting a physical release over on consoles, there's going to be a bit of a crossover between Resurgence and STO here. There's two different parts to this. The first is that from October 12th up through November 30th, you're going to be able to go into the C store to the promotions tab, and you're going to be able to get the skin of the hero ship from Resurgence, the USS Resolute. You're going to be able to get that skin for free from the C store for that time period. Again, that's October 12th after the patch up through November 30th of 2023. And that is a skin that is usable on any of the Miranda class ships in the game. So if you have any of the Miranda variants that you see listed up on screen, you're going to be able to use this new USS Resolute skin on any of these ships, and you'll also be able to kit bash it with any of the existing Miranda class skins. So if you're a fan of the Miranda class and you want some more customization options, or if you're a fan of Resurgence and really want that hero ship, then make sure to go in and pick that up. Again, that'll be available after the patch later today on October 12th up through the end of November. So make sure to go in and pick it up as soon as possible so you don't forget about it. The second part of this crossover is that if you do want to pick up a physical copy of Resurgence, it will come with a Federation Elite Starter Pack code for STO. This is only for consoles though. There's no physical release for those of us on PC as far as I'm aware, so I assume that the codes that come with this are probably tied to the version of STO for whatever platform you're playing on. And for those of you not familiar with Star Trek Resurgence, it is a game that has actually been out for a little bit, but it's only been out digitally. This is a physical release that they're doing for it now over on console. That's what they're celebrating here. But if you want to play this game, you can go through and pick it up today if you want. It's going to be a little bit different from STO. It's a narrative focused game. And for those of you familiar with like the older Walking Dead Telltale games, the same people that were involved with those games made Resurgence here, so it's got that style of gameplay. So it's not going to appeal to everyone, but it is available over on Epic if you're on PC and you want to try it out. It does cost $40, and it is about 8 hours of gameplay, so probably wait for a sale is what I'd recommend if you do want to pick it up. And if you're over on console, it's already available digitally, or obviously through that physical release later in the month if that's what you're interested in. And I should also mention that there is gameplay of it up on YouTube from other content creators. So if you want to get an idea of what that game looks like, just search it up on Google. And for all platforms, starting up after the patches later today on October 12th is going to be the start of the Halloween event. This event will be running up through November 2nd, and it's very important to note that this is not part of the year-long event campaign. So if you're trying to get event campaign progress, do not try to buy this out early. You're not going to get any progress from it. So the ways that you can get your daily progression for this Halloween event is the same as last year. You'll be able to do the Cat's Tail TFO, the Skeleton Crew Patrol, or the Witch's Brew Patrol each day to get your progression. And the rewards here are the Anaphasic Plasma Candle device, 25,000 lithium ore, and 3 featured episode reward boxes. So you do have to play for 14 days of the event between October 12th and November 2nd if you want those rewards. You should be able to buy it out also for like 20 to 25 bucks if you don't want to play it. And given that this is not part of the year-long event campaign, this is also an event that some of you will probably opt to skip, especially given that the reward here is a candle. Now, this Anaphasic Plasma Candle device, for those of you that remember this episode, it is from Season 7, Episode 14 of TNG, the Sub Rosa episode. And in this episode, the entity that the candle spawns got very intimate with Dr. Beverly Crusher and became very obsessive and started to attack her friends. So I don't know what all mechanics this thing is going to have in STO, but what it says here is that it's a device that you hit that will go out and damage your enemies. The damage numbers shown here don't look that impressive, and I don't know if it's going to have any weird secondary effects to play on the meme of what happened in that episode. And I expect quite a few of you, as soon as you get this, are probably going to equip this device to the holographic Beverly Crusher bridge officers that exist in the game. So I don't know what other weird interactions it's going to have outside of, you click it and it does damage. It doesn't look that impressive to me, and I don't think that this Halloween event reward is going to be very impactful meta-wise. It's more of a, you're getting it for the meme of this being a candle that Beverly Crusher, screwed in that episode. So not the most appealing reward. The cat charm from last year is not present here per what this blog post is showing. So I think a lot of you are probably going to end up just skipping this event to take a little bit of a break, personally. But for those of you that do want to pick it up, I don't expect the performance to be anything notable. It's just going to be there for the fun aspect. And for all platforms, starting after the patch today on October 12th and running up through November 2nd, is a Gamma Recruit event. Again, like I talked about last week, with the Gamma Recruit, you just have to play through the tutorial and get the Dominion transponder thing in your inventory. That's all you have to do during the duration of this Gamma Recruit event. Once you have that, you can actually do the task whenever throughout the year you feel like it. So don't feel rushed to get everything done during that limited time frame. Just get the character made if you don't already have Gamma Recruit, and then work on it whenever you feel like it. Now, alongside the start of the Gamma Recruit event is also going to be some sales. So from October 12th up through the 19th is going to be 25% off everything Gemidar related in the C-Store. And what's not in this blog is also the fact that there is most likely going to be a Start Your Adventure sale. Those Start Your Adventure sales are quite nice because that's going to be like 25% off everything in the Slots and Services tab, uniforms, personnel, and starter packs. So really, for the slots and services are the big thing. Is, you need any ship slots, dry dock slots, inventory space, make sure to take advantage of that Start Your Adventure sale, which will most likely be popping up here alongside the Gamma Recruit event when this goes live in a couple hours. And for the patch notes today, both console and PC have pretty similar patch notes. So the first bit here on both is about the Halloween event. And the general patch notes here, the first thing is that the Infinity Lockbox is getting an update to add in the Safe Galaxy Lockbox items. So the World Razor is going to have more supply, and in theory, the Watchers should also, the Watcher Bridge Officers. However, the reality is that the Infinity Lockbox is just inflated with the amount of items in it. So most likely the Watchers are going to have a very low drop rate, and their price is probably not going to see much of an impact from the addition to the Infinity Lockbox. They resolved an issue with Kittimer and Infected on both platforms that was causing some issues. They fixed some issues with the geometry of the Inquiry Gamma skin. And console is getting the changes to the Protostar and Interlacing Tetrion Omni beams that PC got last week. Basically, the Interlacing Tetrion Omni and the Protostar Omni could be used alongside other set Omni beams prior to this update. And with the update now, this is not going to be possible anymore. You're not going to be able to use them alongside other set Omni beams. So a bit of a nerf to them, especially given that the initial wording on the Interlacing Tetrion beam was that it was allowed to stack with other set Omnis. So they're going through and changing that to make these work like the other set Omnis in the game. So it sucks that they're doing it after such a delay, but they have decided to go through and remove that capability. So if you were using those, then that is a little bit of a nerf for your builds. And I think that is, no, they're on PC. There was a couple other things here. They resolved an issue that prevented captains from progressing in the Vault episode. The Infected fix is going live. Now, if you're looking to upload things via the STO combat meter, we don't know yet if this fix is actually going to resolve everything. The reason that SCM has been giving an error saying Cryptic broke your map is because the generators have not been healing the transformers. and that is a requirement in the STO combat meter for the upload to qualify. So that is something that was reported to them weeks ago. I even directly messaged one of the QA people about that. I don't know if that's been fixed, but hopefully it is, and hopefully, in fact, it is perfectly working again. They resolved an issue that caused unexpected behavior in detonating mirror Borg spheres. Most likely, this is the Borg spheres, the mirror ones, doing that detonate thing immediately upon dying, rather than when their animation finishes when they die. So that's what I'm expecting to be changed here, but they may have done something else. And they resolved a minor visual issue with the Farragut temporal cruiser that caused some FX to not appear in the correct area on the ship. So overall, there's some good fixes here on the PC side. The Omni change obviously really sucks for those of you on console, and it sucked for those of us on PC last week. But the fixes here are good outside of that, and the Infinity Lockbox update is always good to see. Now, alongside what the patch notes said about the Safe Galaxy stuff being added to Infinity, there is some new ships being added to Infinity also today. So if you're on PC, the Dauntless 2 is going to be added to Infinity. I haven't done a stats breakdown on the Dauntless 2 yet, but I am working on it. The reason I haven't done one yet is because we didn't have tooltips for the console and trait, and the ship itself isn't bad, but given how it looks and the Cytorp stuff being a fairly niche playstyle, the console and trait are really what are going to make or break this ship as an option for people. So I really want some good tooltips on those before I give an assessment recommending whether or not to pick it up. So that stats breakdown will be arriving sometime soon. It just hasn't happened yet again because Cryptic doesn't like to give us tooltips for whatever reason. And if you're over on console, the Friendship class is supposed to be added today, but in reality, it has actually been available on console for the past couple of weeks, it sounds like. Over in the Discord, Bacon Fat over on console already has shown that they already have a friendship over there. So the blog is saying it's supposed to be added today, but Cryptic's version control has not been very good in recent times, or well ever. So it has actually been live on console already for a little bit of time. So now, alongside all of these Infinity Lockbox editions, there should be a key and Lobby sale on both platforms, probably running through the weekend. It'll probably be 15% on keys and 20% on the Lobby side of things. That's the standard type of sale that they do whenever there's a Lockbox edition. So that hasn't been announced yet as of me recording this video at 6 a.m., but that'll probably be announced here in a couple hours, so don't be surprised if you see a key and Lobby sale pop up. Again, 15% on the keys and probably like 20% for the Lobby. And next up, for those of you over on console, the Legendary Battlecruiser bundle with the Legendary Avenger and Legendary Bordeaux is going to be dropping on console on October 19th and will be on an introductory 30% sale from the 19th up through November 2nd. With that 30% sale, the cost will be 8,400 Zen, and for your $84 worth of Zen, you're getting the 2 legendary ships, a T6 coupon, and some additional fluff. Now, I've been a big fan of both of these ships. I am going to hopefully have the reviews out by the time this bundle drops on console. I've had a lot of fun flying around the Legendary Avenger. It's basically a direct clone of like the old promo Inquiry, so having that on account-wide unlock is really nice. And the Bordeaux, that's been pretty good as like just a general do platform for me. It's a good torp platform. You could also use it as a tank, but it's been really fun to mess around with. So definitely one of the better legendary bundles that Cryptic has done. And you're getting 3 ships for that $84 during the sale, so it's not the worst bundle they've put in the game price wise. It's still expensive, but you know, that's just how STO is. Everything is really expensive. And the last thing I want to mention for today is that I forgot to mention when talking about the 3D printing stuff last week that there is a way for you to get a 3D print of a ship without actually owning the ship. So you can have someone upload a ship for you, and then they can share a link to let you see that ship so you can go through and place an order yourself for that model. Or there is some in-game captures that GamePrint has that you can browse through. There's pretty much every ship in the game. Well, most ships in the game are covered in here. You can sort through the list, find what it is you're wanting a copy of, and you can go through, pick it, and place an order for it. So you don't have to actually have the ship in game in order to get a 3D print of it. You can browse through their site, and I'll have a link to that down below for those of you that want to get a 3D print of a ship that you do not own. And like I said, you can also ask someone else to upload a ship for you if you're wanting something that you don't see listed on the GamePrint website. Now, just keep in mind, not every ship in the game can be 3D printed. There's some that are held back due to licensing issues, like the Inquiry, and there's some where it just doesn't make sense, like with the Herald Vomf, which has all those floaty bits. So don't expect everything to work perfectly fine, but for most ships in the game, you should be able to get a 3D print of them. And that is going to be it for today. Again, thank you to all channel members and viewers for the continued support. More videos coming soon. See you guys around.